Hey there, freaks and sickos. Welcome to my campaign. A campaign that started in Maple Grove, Minnesota. You heard that correct. District 37 includes that. And I live in the same city that Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, was murdered. Well, not murdered, but where he lived. I live in the same city that he did. I didn't know the guy, and if I ever saw him, it was probably while I was working retail, and I don't anymore. It's a mixed income community, and it is the same place that I ran for city council and lost. I got 1,790 more votes than I was expecting, though. And you need to get more than 10,000 to win. And the second to last place guy spent money to best me by only 200 votes. So, if anything, I have more potential to unseat my state senator than he does. Because if you're going to put resources just for 200 more votes than the furry, then maybe the answer is to run again and be more eccentric and actually try and have a real campaign. Have signs, have staff, have canvassers and all the dip and mustards. And for my first act of this campaign, which is going to be for State Senate against Warren Limmer, I'm going to send him my medical bill. $3,330.20 because my wrist broke. That's how much I have to pay. After health insurance. Insurance that I have to pay $40 a month for. And uninsured people have to pay $400 a month for. If they're self-employed and want to be an entrepreneur, well, that's one way to hold them back and keep the classes in line. Because that's what this is really about. That's what this whole scam of a healthcare system is designed to do. And this is all a choice. This tragedy that we're living in can be undone. And it shouldn't have taken a murderer to wake people up. But I understand why so many people are cheering that guy on now. Or, at the very least, saying, you know what, I'm glad that Brian Thompson is dead now. I'm glad that he is gone. I do not feel any sympathy, empathy, or any sorrow kind of fifi towards this man. It's the first sense of justice that a lot of Americans have felt in a very long time. A lot of people are upset that America isn't really listening to Americans anymore. That instead there's something way up above pulling the strings and keeping everyone miserable except them. You can call them elites. You can call them billionaires. Same deal. I understand why this righteous anger transcends identity, even political identity. I understand why someone in the Ivy League of colleges would just snap upon turning 26 when he is no longer covered by his parents' health insurance plan. It's understandable. That is so understandable that, I agree. The system we have sucks. I want to send a message to my state senator and opponent, Warren Limmer, that you're the reason this is happening too. And this should not be. I should not have to pay $4,000. This doesn't include the emergency room visit, by the way. Because my wrist is broken. I shouldn't get a letter from my health insurance provider begging me to call them back so that they can find another insurance provider to pay it instead. Why am I paying you then? Someone who breaks their wrist without health insurance shouldn't have to pay $40,000 because their wrist broke. Why is the insurance part even a thing? Why is there this man in the middle fuckery? Why don't doctors just set their own prices and try to get the most patients in the marketplace of doctors? Why can't it just be that direct? Like, if you go to Wendy's and get a burger, you see the price of the burger and you pay the price of the burger. And the burger price is paid, it's based on the demand for the burger. You don't pay burger insurance for in case you get hungry, and then pay again. No, stop it. Stop it. No, this needs to stop now. Messages like this have to be sent now. We can't really deal with this anymore. Oh, and I do have the emergency room bill on the back. That's also going to Warren Limmer. American people are fed up with this. We don't really want to pay these exorbitant prices for all these things. I understand why it would drive so many people so bonkers that they'd even go so far as to elect Donald Trump, I guess. Biden really didn't do much. I don't really expect Trump to either. But you know what? I'm going to send it to him. This is the envelope in which all this other paperwork is going to go in, and I'm trying to hide my PIA. I will have to gloss over this. If you see like a little blur, that's whoopsie. But like the part of the bill and what they're charging, no, I'm fine with y'all seeing that. And I mean, I think Warren Limmer should pay for it. He's being bribed by the health insurance industry more than this bill is worth. I think it's time he pay his fair share. And if he's not going to do that, then maybe we should have a healthcare system where if you're an American, you're free to get healthcare without some douchebag in the middle. Where if you get sick, you have the right to go to a doctor, to get into the emergency room, and not go bankrupt because of that. In fact, I would even go so far as to say healthcare should be free for all Americans. That it should be paid for with tax dollars. You know the drill, the single payer thing. And it should not be for profit. And that in this system, everyone pays in and the government should pay out. And because it's the government held accountable to our votes, they would not be nearly as likely to use those funds to do their monthly Gulfstream shopping. I'm just saying. People are fed up that they're working really hard and that the life they want to live just keeps running away from them. I would love to be the sole occupant in a house like this, but no, I live with my mother. I would love to be able to afford to have a family, but I can't do that. The cost of living just keeps going up and up and up. And honestly, I'm in a relatively lucky situation. All things considered with the whole living with my mother bit. But the fact is, I don't want to. But I'm struggling to save to move out. And there's just so much of a pitfall in doing that. They could spike rent next month. Who knows? And wherever I go. And I would have to cobble together roommates, whereas in the past, didn't really need to do that. Americans have a right to an American dream if they're working at all. But instead, it's being stolen by people like Brian Thompson. And in order to make that point very clear, to put an exclamation on top of all of that, one of the men he obviously bribed, Warren Limmer, is going to get my bills. He's part of the problem. He is responsible for all of this. He is culpable. He should pay. And honestly, I believe that more Americans should do this. They're fed up with the cost of living, if they're fed up with all of these price increases for stuff, utilities, maybe Verizon will spike the cost of internet next year. Who knows with the next FCC chairman what ISPs are going to be able to do with their monopolies. Oh, these monopolies. And the lack of competition. Maybe we should send our bills to our state senators, our state representatives, our federal ones, and make it very clear, we're mad at you because you're not representing us. And you should be. Here's the people you're ignoring. And maybe we should write stuff. We don't deserve this exploitative system. We don't deserve to be squeezed like this. We deserve freedom. We deserve to have enough income to save money and start families. We deserve to be respected. We deserve the American dream we were promised. We deserve better. This is how I'm going to tell Warren Limmer that. And, you guys with your healthcare bills, just like me, just like anyone else, if you're fed up with the cost of food, why don't you send your receipts? In fact, why don't you save your receipts? Keep one for this year, one for the next year, one for the year after that. Put it in a letter, send it to your representative and your senator and go, what the hell is this price gouging, rent-seeking bullshit? Do that. I know it'll make you feel better. And I know that this is going to make it a lot harder. For real Americans like me and you to be ignored. And this is a lesson that people around the world can take home to their own countries as well. You can also send your messages there. At this point, our political leaders need to understand, need to accept that going forward, from now until the heat death of the universe, that anger against them can never, ever be taken for granted again. And that we will never take our freedom for granted again. And that we deserve that and their respect as much as anyone else in life. As much as the people that are bribing them. And as always, subscribe if you like, and share. Lord knows I will. If you care.
I wasn't kidding, by the way. There you go.